Hello to everyone. This is the Industrial Age channel. Today in this video we are going to discuss about what is purchase or procurement department and what are their responsibilities. So many people are confused with the purchase and procurement name. In upcoming video I will explain the difference between purchase and procurement department also. Start with what is purchase or procurement department. The purchase department plays a crucial role in an organization's procurement process. Means buying the needed item from outside or from supplier. Needed item like raw material, consumable item, office items, etc. Purchase or procurement department is one of the most vital departments in the industry. So many things are depending on the purchase department. Its primary responsibility to ensure that the company obtained the necessary goods and services at the best possible prices, terms and quality. Now we discuss in detail what are the roles and responsibility of a purchase department one by one. The first responsibility is supplier assessment, evaluation and selection process. This step is basically conducted to identify and to select the proper supplier. It involves identifies potential suppliers, supplier capabilities, suitability and alignment with customer requirement, evaluate supplier based on their strength, weaknesses and overall performance, select the most suitable supplier from the evaluated options to fulfill procurement needs. Now this process involves conducting market survey, bids and negotiating contracts. Basically, the supplier selection process mainly focuses on 6 main points, and that 6 main points are shown in the figure. You can observe here. The first point is quality, second point is cost, third point is delivery time, next is services, the fifth one is technical capability of supplier, and last one is a company history. Second point, purchase requisition processing. Though the purchase or procurement department is there in industry to procure or buy the needed items, still they require purchase requisition which is given by needy department. Once they received the purchase requisition, purchase department start processing on the purchase requisition. This processing is known as a purchase requisition processing. Now the activities under the purchase requisition processing are as receives purchase requisition from various departments, review and analyze these requisitions to determine their validity and accuracy. Means need to check whether that department really needs the item mentioned in a purchase requisition or not. Secondly, need to check the stock of the same item in store, etc. Such a type of cross verification to be done by purchase department before processing the purchase requisition. Take necessary approval before proceeding with the procurement process. Once the purchase requisition received and if it is validated, then the purchase department need to take a proper approval from the higher authority about processing the purchase requisition to supplier. Now there is a difference between purchase requisition and purchase order. You can see the difference in the table. Now we can discuss this in little bit detail as. Now the difference between purchase requisition and purchase order is mentioned here. Now what is purchase requisition first? What is it? Purchase requisition is a request for a purchase, whereas purchase order is a confirmation of an order. Secondly, who create purchase requisition? So any employee of an industry or company or any department of an industry or company can generate or can create purchase requisition. Whereas who creates purchase order? The procurement or purchase department can generate or can create a purchase order. Next, when it is created means when purchase requisition is created, when an employee or a department demand, then it created purchase requisition. And when it is created means when purchase order is created, when a purchase requisition has been received and approved, then purchase order is created. Next, who receives purchase requisition? The purchase department or procurement department receives the purchase requisition. Whereas, who receives purchase order? The supplier. The supplier receives the purchase order from the purchase department. So this is basic difference between purchase requisition and purchase order. This is for a little bit understanding purpose only. Next responsibility is contract negotiations and management. So contract negotiation refer to the process of discussing and reaching an agreement on the terms and condition of a contract between two or more parties. The goal of contract negotiation is to establish mutually acceptable terms that protect the interests of all involved parties. Negotiation not only related to the cost, but it is related to everything like delivery time, delivery quantity, quality, transport facility, packaging, etc. Now some key points or key steps involved in a negotiation, that are prepare and research. So before entering any kind of negotiation, it is essential to gather relevant information about the subject matter, parties involved, industry standard, legal requirements, and any other pertinent details. Second point, identify objective and priorities. So clearly define your objective before negotiation. Also priorities related to the negotiation. Determine what terms are most important to you and whether or where you may be flexible. Next, communication and discussion. Engage in open and transparent communication with the other parties involved. Discuss your respective needs, concerns, and expectations regarding the contract. Identify area of agreement and disagreement. Next step in negotiation, compromise and flexibility. Negotiation often require compromises. Be prepared to make concessions on a certain terms while ensuring that your core interests are protected. Next step, seek legal advice. If the contract involves complex legal issues or significant financial implication, then it is advisable to consult with a qualified attorney who specialize in a contract law. They can provide valuable guidance and helps ensure that the contract align with your interest. Next step in negotiation, put everything in writing. As negotiation progress and key terms are agreed upon, it is important to document the agreed upon point in a writing. Now what is the result of this? This can take the form of letter of intent, memorandum of understanding, or a draft contract. Next step in negotiation, review and finalize the contract. Once the negotiations are completed, thoroughly review the final contract to ensure it accurately reflect the agreed upon terms and protect your interest. Seek clarification, seek clarification or revision wherever necessary. And last step, sign and execute the contract. Once both parties are satisfied with the contract term, they can sign and document to indicate their agreements and commitment. The signed contract is legally binding. So this is all about contract negotiation and management. In short, what is meant by negotiation? Negotiation is a strategic discussion that involves an issue in a way that both parties find acceptable. Next responsibility related to purchase or procurement is purchase order processing. Now purchase order processing refers to the activities involved in receiving, reviewing and fulfilling purchase order placed by a purchase department with a supplier or a vendor. It is important aspect of a procurement and supply chain management The purchase order serves as a formal document that outlines the detail of a goods or services being ordered, including quantities, prices, delivery dates, terms, and any other specific requirement. Now, here are some key points or key steps typically involved in a purchase order processing. The first step, purchase order creation. Basically, the buyer initiate the process by creating a purchase order document. This include entering the necessary information such as item description, quantity, price, delivery address, and any applicable terms or condition. Next step, review and approval. The purchase order is reviewed by relevant stakeholder or a higher authority, right, such as procurement officer or manager, or maybe higher authority than manager, to ensure accuracy, compliances with internal policy, and budget available. Depending on the organization structure, approval may be required from different level of authority. Next step, transmitting the purchase order. Once the purchase order is approved, it is transmitted to the supplier or vendor. This can be done via various methods such as email, electronic data, through a procurement system, by hand, through a postal service, etc. Supplier acknowledgement. The supplier acknowledges the receipt of purchase order and confirms their acceptance of the terms and conditions. This acknowledgement may include information such as expected delivery date, shipping detail, or any discrepancies or changes requested by the supplier. Next step, order fulfillment. The supplier prepare the good or service as specified in the purchase order. They may also generate a sales order or packing slip to accompany the shipment, which includes detail of the item being shipped, transported, quantities, and any other relevant information. Next, delivery and receipt. The supplier arranges for the delivery of a good to the buyer's specified location. The buyer receives the shipment and verifies that the delivered item match the details on the purchase order. Any discrepancies or damage should be documented and communicated to the supplier for resolution. Next step, invoice matching and payment. Upon successful receipt and verification of the good or services, the buyer matches the supplier's invoice to the purchase order. And any accompanying document such as delivery receipt or packing slip. If everything aligns, the buyer proceeds with the payment process according to the agreed upon payment terms. Next is record keeping. All relevant documents, including the purchase order, supplier acknowledgement, delivery receipt, and invoices, are maintained and organized for future references, auditing, or financial reporting purposes. Efficient purchase order processing helps streamline the procurement cycle, ensure accurate fulfillment of order, track expenses, and maintain transparency in business transactions. Next responsibility is inventory management. Inventory management is the process of overseeing and controlling the acquisition, storage, usage, and tracking of all organizations' inventory. Effective inventory management aims to maintain optimal inventory level, minimize carrying cost, prevent stock out, and ensure timely fulfillment of customer order. It involves various activities and strategies to efficiently manage the flow of goods throughout the supply chain. Now, some industries have separate inventory department if the purchase volume is big, but if not, the purchase department have to look after the inventory management activity also. Some key points in inventory management are: maintain optimal inventory level, forecast demand, monitor stock level, and coordinate with supplier regarding delivery, balance inventory cost with the need to meet the operational requirement. Now, next responsibility of a purchase or procurement department is cost saving and management. Cost saving and cost management are key aspects of financial management for business. Cost saving involves reducing expenses and finding efficiencies to lower overall cost. While cost management encompasses the ongoing process of planning, monitoring, and controlling costs to achieve financial goals. Now, some strategies for effective cost saving and management are: first, budgeting. Develop a comprehensive budget that outlines income and expenses. Set realistic target for cost reduction and track actual expenses against the budget regularly. Second step, identify cost reduction opportunities. Analyze expenses and identify area where cost saving can be achieved. Look for opportunities to reduce or eliminate non-essential expenses. Negotiate better prices with supplier or optimize resources allocation. Next step is supplier management. Negotiate favorable terms with supplier, including discounts, volume pricing, or extended payment terms. Regularly evaluate supplier performance, seek competitive bids, and consider alternative suppliers to ensure cost effectiveness. Next step, operational efficiency. Streamlining processes and workflow to eliminate waste, improve productivity, and reduce cost. Encourage employee involvement in identifying process improvement and cost saving initiatives. Next, technology utilization. Leverage technology to automate tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce the cost. Invest in software, tools, or systems that streamline operation, automate manual processes, and enhance productivity. Next step, inventory management. Now implement effective inventory management practices to minimize carrying cost and prevent overstocking or stockout. Optimize inventory level through accurate demand forecasting, just in time inventory principle, and efficient stock controls. Continuous improvement. Foster a culture of continuous improvement and cost consciousness within the purchasing process. Encourage ongoing evaluation, feedback, and innovation to identify new cost saving opportunities and drive efficiency gain. Next step in cost saving and management is regular financial review. So conduct regular financial reviews of a purchasing process to monitor expenses, assess progress against cost saving targets, and identify areas for further improvement. Adjust strategies as needed to stay on track with the cost management goals. Next responsibility related to the purchase and procurement department is purchase risk management. So purchase risk management involves identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk associated with the procurement and purchasing process. By effectively managing these risks, organization can minimize potential negative impact, protect their interest, and ensure successful procurement outcomes. Now some key points and consideration for purchase risk management are: so first step, risk identification. Identify potential risk specific to the procurement or purchase process. This may include supplier related risk, that is supplier financial instability, quality issue, delivery delay. Then some market risk, examples are price fluctuation, supply chain disruptions. Some contractual risk, that is inadequate terms and conditions, or regulatory or compliance risk. Second step, risk assessment. Evaluate and prioritize identified risks based on their potential impact and likelihood of occurrence. This helps determine the level of attention and resources needed for risk mitigation efforts. Next step, supplier due diligence. Conduct thorough due diligence on potential supplier before engaging in a contract. This may include assessing their financial stability, reputation in the market, capability, and compliance with legal and ethical standards. Contractual risk mitigation. Carefully review and negotiate contract terms and conditions to mitigate potential risk. Clearly define responsibilities, obligations, delivery schedules, quality standards, intellectual property right, dispute resolution mechanism, and termination causes. Next step, supplier relationship management. Foster positive and transparent relationship with the supplier. Maintain open line of communication, monitor supplier performance, and address issues promptly to mitigate risk and ensure contractual compliances. Next, contingency planning. Develop contingency plans to address potential risks and mitigate their impacts. This may involve identifying alternative supplier, establishing backup plans for critical supplier, or implementing risk response strategies to minimize disruptions. Next, monitoring and evaluation. Continuously monitor risk throughout the procurement process. Regularly evaluate supplier performance, track market condition, and stay updated on regulatory changes that may impact procurement activities. Next, insurance coverage. Evaluate the need of appropriate insurance coverage to protect against potential risks. Consider policies such as product liability insurance, business interruptions insurance, or professional indemnity insurance depending on the nature of procurement activities. Next step, continuous improvement. Foster a culture of continuous improvement in a purchase risk management. Regularly review and update risk management strategies, learn from the past experience, and implement best practices to enhance the purchase or procurement process and mitigate risk more effectively. Next responsibility of purchase and procurement department is supplier relationship management. Supplier relationship management refer to the practices and strategies employed by organizations to effectively manage their relationship with the supplier. SRM aims to build strong and collaborative partnership with suppliers to enhance value, minimize risk, and achieve mutually beneficial outcomes. Here are key aspects of supplier relationship management. First, supplier selection. Identify and select supplier based on criteria such as quality, reliability, price competitiveness, financial stability, ethical standard, and alignment with organizational values. Conduct thorough evaluation and due diligence before entering into a relationship. It helps to minimize the risk in a purchasing process. Second point, communication and collaboration. Maintain open and transparent communication channel with supplier. Establish a regular meeting, performance reviews, and feedback session to foster collaboration, address concern, and align goals. Next steps or next aspect, relationship building. Develop strong relationship based on trust, mutual respect, and shared objective. Invest in building rapport, understanding supplier capabilities, and creating win-win situation. Contract management. Establish clear and comprehensive contract that outline expectations, responsibilities, deliverable, pricing, quality standard, and other relevant terms and conditions. Regularly review and update contracts to reflect evolving business need. Performance monitoring. Regularly monitor and evaluate supplier performance against predefined key performance indicators and agreed upon service level agreement. Track metrics such as on-time delivery, product quality, responsiveness, and customer services. Continuous improvement. Collaborate with suppliers to drive continuous improvement. Encourage them to provide innovative ideas, suggest process enhancement, or propose cost saving measures. Foster a culture of shared learning and mutual growth. Risk management. Identify and assess risk associated with the supplier relationship. Develop risk mitigation strategies, contingency plan, and alternative supplier options to minimize disruption to the supply chain. Supplier development. Invest in supplier development initiatives to enhance their capabilities and performance. Provide training, knowledge sharing, and support to help supplier improve quality, efficiency, and compliances with industry standard. Conflict resolution. Conflict resolution addresses conflict or issues promptly and constructively. Implement effective conflict resolution mechanism to maintain positive relationship and resolve dispute in a fair and timely manner. So this is all for this video. We'll meet in a next more informative video.